What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another live stream here on the Sergeant Tank YouTube channel. My name is Jeremy. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm really stoked about this evening. We have a special guest joined here with us, which I'll be turning the attention over to Jimmy.
Hello.
Swhiskey here in just a moment. So again, no introduction needed. Really, it's a topic for me that I've been enjoying over the last year and a half or so of myself, specifically the past year personally for me, is really diving into the aspects of fish photography. So this is going to be a great educational tutorial also for myself, and I hope that you guys can also enjoy this as well and take something away from it. It is taking us a little bit off from normal topics that we discuss here on this channel. However, if you guys want to look at other topics, there's playlist with like 300 videos here on this channel. And any information, of course, if you guys are watching this in a replay, I'll have for you right down in the description below. And go ahead and leave a comment as well. If you guys are here live, do us a favor right now. If you have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, go ahead and share this out. I definitely encourage you guys to do that. And also, they tell us as content creators to go ahead and make sure you guys hit that like button. If you like it, it lets us know the overall engagement. And if you don't like the content, that's okay. You can go ahead and give a dislike. At least it kind of gives us an idea, hey, maybe this is content you guys would like to see in the future. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over here to Jimmy. I'm going to have you introduce yourself just in case anybody is new. So the floor is yours, my man.
Thank you very much. All right, so my name is Jimmy. I've been an editor, I guess, professionally for about 2 years. Work for Aquarium Co-op, as a lot of people may know. I guess you can say I'm Corey's assistant, but also I do the photography, the videography, the editing, the graphic work. So if you've seen some type of graphic, it's probably by me. Also on the side, I do my own YouTube channel. I don't know if that's the word for it, but I have my own YouTube channel. It's called Swhiskey because everything is better with an S. Yeah, pretty much. I've been trying to build my Instagram because of my love for photography. I don't know why I lean towards Instagram more lately. Haven't been releasing a lot of videos on my own channel, but I was filming one just before we got on here. So yeah, that's the gist of who I am. But yeah, you guys can take over some questions,
awesome,
maybe, or something.
Yeah, definitely. I have a pad here in front of me, you guys, so please go ahead and leave the comments here in the chat. While some things start coming in, I guess the first thing I have for you as a brand new beginner photographer or somebody that's getting into it, what would be the #1 tip that you could give somebody starting now?
One tip is just starting, because I mean, it's just like having a little bit of confidence too, because a lot of people that post, like, they take a lot of pictures, but they don't post it. And then once like they don't get a few likes or something, they stop posting and they give up real easy. Like, have some confidence with what you do. And eventually, because like 2 years ago or before I even moved here, I did not know how to work a DSLR camera. So I didn't know what ISO, aperture, or, shutter speed was. So I learned that on my way here. And now I use I use everything in manual. So really just stick with it and have a little confidence in yourself to keep on continuing, because it's a long road. It's a lot of homework. And yeah, just stick with it, man. Like, that's all I can say.
Right on. So Jamie has a question here. What is the best phone to get for camera quality?
So I watched a YouTube video by Marquez Brownlee, which is one of the biggest tech channels in the world. He's doing the best cameras, best phones for cameras, and they decided out of, I believe, 20 phones, it was a the Huawei Pro Mate 20. That thing is pretty ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying Galaxy, iPhone, everything else is like terrible, because they're all around the same quality. Really, you're not going to see, like, the beginner person will not see the difference. But as far as like features and stuff go, I think the Huawei Pro Mate 20 is the best camera phone to date. Now, with that being said, you can have attachments, right? You can have, there's companies like Moment, there's companies like Sandmark that make attachments for your phone, which I recommend always getting a macro lens because fish are tiny, and macro lenses are super important if you want to blow up that fish on a big screen. So,
Right on. So kind of going into that now, let me find this question here. Bear with me, guys.
IFG. So yeah, like Aquarium Thought says, on camera phones, you might want to check different camera apps too, like Open Camera. So yeah, just like having a DSLR, it gives you the option to manually set everything because you can't always trust what the phone is gonna have you take a picture of because it doesn't know what it is in front of you unless it's a person, right? So if you're taking a picture of a fish, you want to set it yourself. Now, because fish move way faster than humans, you really have to set that stuff yourself. And the cool thing with third-party apps is you get to shoot in RAW, which is pretty important. RAW saves all the collective information in that picture. It's like giving you a empty, like a blank cake to work with instead of cake with decorations on it. So if I give you a blank cake to work with, you get to put on whatever you want. You get to put on all the colors and all the frosting and all that stuff like that. Whereas if you shoot with JPEG, you're stuck with that color and you can only go from there. So if you put saturation on that cake, you're only brightening it up, blah, blah, blah. You can't work yourself, your own like artistic style into that photo. So shooting RAW is very important. Yeah.
Now, what is the best beginner camera that is budget friendly? I know, again, a lot of this stuff I understand maybe a bit subjective, but again, maybe instead of maybe top 3.
Right. And it's always how much money you want to put into this thing, you know? There was a sale not too long ago, and I think the sale's still going on right now. It's a different sale. On eBay, you get 10% off. And it's usually cameras, they never go on, like the new cameras, they never go on sale. So there's a camera called the Canon M50, right? When I talked to Jay Wilson, he had bought it for, I think, $850. I think Taylor Simply Beta bought it when it was at $600 something dollars. And my lady friend, I'll call her that, she bought hers for $450. Now that's a big, big price difference. And she got a macro lens to go with it, and it was about altogether, I think it was about $650. Like I said, macro lenses are extremely, extremely crucial to shooting fish. Like, if you want to shoot individual fish, stuff like that, getting a macro lens helps.
Right on. All right, so I know for myself and maybe some other folks here, a visual aid may help. So if you're okay with it, I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and let's take a look at your personal Instagram if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that is totally fine with me.
Okay. So bear with me just a second, you guys. If you guys get a little nauseous, just look away from the screen just for a second. And there we go. All right. And there is about a 14-second delay on my end, so
14
just
seconds?
keep that in mind. Keep that in your guys' mind in the chat. So, all right.
All right, so my Instagram is Jimmy Gimbal. Now, I've really grown as a photographer. If you look at my early beginning shots till now, I don't have a specific style, but I guess you can say I do have a style. But if you look at all my photos, like you can see that German Blue Ram, it's all black background, whereas the other, like the Ember Tetra, there's a green background. Sometimes I really want to incorporate like the background to it. Sometimes I just totally want to black it out because it's a style, right? So you pick and choose.
It's taken. Sorry, Jimmy. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm just noticing. Hold on just a second, you guys. I'm waiting for it to not want to cooperate on my end. So here we go. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, as you can see, lots of different styles like that. Julia Corey is just totally not a certain style I usually do, but love the picture, love the fish, so you know it's on there. yeah, there's.
Let's focus on this Mycogeophagus.
Sure.
Now, if
Sure.
let's say I had a Mycogeophagus I picked up, it's right around the same size. How would you go about getting something similar to what you have right here?
Okay, so that Macrodrigophagus is at the shop at Aquarium Co-op. So the background to that is completely blue. I sat in front of that tank for about 4 minutes to take that picture. I probably snapped about 15 pictures until I got that one because I liked how he or she, it's probably a she, flared up the dorsal a little bit. So I kind of like that. And a little bit of Lightroom on the phone, which I've been teaching people. They DM me, they message me and stuff like that. And I do share my knowledge, and I try to, everyone, like, people been tagging me in photos, and a lot of the photos are starting to look like that photo right there. It's been very, very popular with the black backgrounds, just a focus on the fish. But I do have a video of how to use Lightroom like I do. It's on my channel somewhere. But yeah, not a lot of saturation to that picture. It's just, I pick a color, I pick and choose a color, and then I work with that. Just bringing up the clarity and the dehazing. Dehazing is very important when it comes to Lightroom, because when you shoot a fish tank, all you see is, like, sometimes you see cloudy water and you can't see the fish. If you dehaze it, it cuts right through and it just shows the fish so much brighter. So
sure,
that's what I did with that.
Now it looks like maybe here is that some pearling.
Yeah, that's a pearling, probably a Bacopa or a pearl wave or a really big baby tier.
Yeah.
So that's I had a shout out this morning by Tropica Aquarium Plants, which was pretty huge, and yeah, I've been posting a lot of plant pictures lately, and it's just super cool. I've been really inspired by my lady friends, so been posting a lot of plant pictures, and as you can see, they're kind of a lot of the same, just a lot of pearling plants.
Sure.
Yeah, close up.
No, that's sweet that you're able to capture that. Now, just stop me at any point in time if anything stands out that you would like to address in any one of these. I'm just trying to find.
Sure.
I like this one here. I mean, I know for me, and maybe that may be the sum, is really if I look at the cover of a book, if I'm looking at a piece of artwork, is what story is that he's telling me?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd love to post these pictures as well. As you can see, there's an epistogramma inside a Nana Petite pot. And, those fish, they love to hide in little small areas. So that was a really quick shot. I just saw him there. Sometimes, most of the time, I think it's like 80% luck with what you get. The fish is in the position you want. They're in a place you want, and you just capture the moment. So most of my fish pictures I use a 90mm macro lens. So I punch really deep into the picture, and that's what you get with it. And I usually show the before and after pictures on my story, but you probably won't be able to see that right now. So
sure. Yeah, these are definitely some stunning. I mean, even look at this one here. Just that. I mean, that's a beautiful shot.
That one's pretty cool. I visited another aquarium shop called Aquarium Zen, and I took that picture because he had fantastic lighting in his tank. So that shop is a bunch of ADA lighting, so it's really easy to take a photo there. And as you can see, like, it's not. I like to keep the fish colors. You know what I mean? I try not to go far from what they actually look like.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you and I were kind of talking, and that was like, I think one of the first things I mentioned was the fact that you yourself, being a photographer, able to really capture the true essence and the integrity of what the species is supposed to look like.
Extremely important. When I met Gary Lang about a year ago or something like that, he had told me about how he hates people that change the color of the fish and stuff like that. So ever since then, I tread really lightly when I edit my photos.
Sure. Yeah, if you guys are into the aspects of changing the complete coloration of a fish,
I mean, that's up to you. I mean, as a
Then
marketer,
listen to
yeah, go
Charlie
for it.
Grimes
Go ahead.
talk. It's a late night talk, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Then he takes a bad situation and makes it very comical. So, yeah, I mean, even this one, like this one here, is just
The guppy one.
stunning. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's just like his. I don't know. Like I said, it's like pure luck. But guppies are hands down the hardest fish to capture. You just need a high shutter speed. So I would put probably shutter priority if you have a camera that lets you do that, and set it really high, like 250 to like 400. And because they have long tails that flop in the water like that, you really want to capture that without a blur, right? So you have to really put up the shutter speed to capture something like that.
so Dean is wondering if I autofocus work with fish photography.
It does not. Not until the new Sony cameras come around. They are working with a lot of wildlife people, and they're releasing, a camera that can do wildlife photography and capture eye autofocus, which is insane. So pretty much a lot of my shots, if they're standing still like that mud skipper, then I'll do it on manual focus on the eyes, take the shot. But if it's like a guppy, put on autofocus and just hopefully rely on the camera to capture that eyeball. And that's very important with fish photography. I learned that from Chris Luca, which was pretty straightforward with me, because when you take portraits of people, it's the eye. So he told me at Aquatic Experiences, like, you always want to capture the eye. As long as the eye is sharp, the picture is good. So ever since then, the eyeball is what I go for.
Awesome. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Look at that one. Just.
Oh yeah. So with Lightroom, yeah, you can. That has a complete blue background. With Lightroom, you can pick and select a color. It's called color select, and you can drop. You can put higher saturation or no saturation, or you can put the luminance down, which is how much light goes into that color. So you just drop every single one of those bars, and you can have a gray out background like that. But like I said right there, you can see the eyeballs are pretty much in focus. And with a lot of my photography, I do a lot of bokeh. Corey hates bokeh, but I think it's an art style. I'm not trying to be in a magazine at this point, but if I do, I will get the whole fish in focus. But I love my bokeh shots. It's just something of mine. They're like, as I call it, creamy. It leaves the mind to extrapolate everything else. So you can see what the face looks like and the pattern of what that looks like, so you can extrapolate yourself what everything else will look like. So
sure. And then let's see here. Now, as far as using sport or burst mode to capture shots.
Yes, so I do use a high burst rate. So let me grab my camera real quick, and you can hear how fast this thing bursts.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen share here real quick.
Okay.
All right, the camera should be back on you.
All right, so I set it on high speed, and I would sit there and probably snap maybe 10 pictures at a time. So I can show you right now. So that's with medium speed. Let me put it on high speed, and you can really hear the difference. All right, listen to this. So I think it take 20 pictures a second. No, 13 photos a second. Corey's new camera, the XT3, can take 30. So 30 pictures a second. If you don't have one picture in that 30, then you're doing something wrong. Let me put the shutter speed up, and you can really listen to this thing go. All right, here we go. Listen to this now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's 13 frames a second.
Wow. Yeah, you could definitely hear the difference there. Now, a recommendation. I know you kind of already touched on this, but with regard to background color with taking photos.
background color.
Yeah. Is there a
To
specific one that you
me,
recommend?
I work with what I have. I don't have like we talked about earlier. I really want a specimen tank just to do single portraits and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time when I'm at the aquarium co-op, where I take most of my photos. There's just no time, and I don't have a specimen tank with me. I just use whatever I have available and fix it in post. A lot of times I have um, the bubbles inside a tank, and that's an easy fix. You can just download something called Adobe Photoshop Fix and use a spot heal. You know what I'm talking about, Jeremy. And it's
Yep.
just literally just pointing and clicking every single dot until it's gone. So I tell a lot of people to use that app for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally love. I mean, Jimmy's the one that actually got me. Let me get the camera back on me a second. So again, thank you guys so much for joining. I know this is a little bit, but again, it's all in the end, it's all for the greater good. I mean, I love fish photography, as I was mentioning this earlier on here in the live stream with regard, because I've been publishing and I plan on publishing many more articles here in the future with regard to different aspects, specifically more with breeding. And one of the requirements, and really that I've personally been enjoying and trying to learn more about, is from the standpoint of photography, to make sure I capture the true essence of what that species should look like.
Right.
And now tying that in like with Photoshop or Lightroom. Personally, I haven't started playing around with Lightroom. However, because I have that subscription, I'm paying for it. I'm not being paid for by or sponsored by or anything like that. So I do pay for, I want to say it after tax, like $10.50 US or $11 a month.
Doable for anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely, again, not being paid to say it. I would say if you really want to get into it, it works really great, especially if you're a YouTube content creator, because for thumbnails, I feel I definitely have grown a ton. I've done quite a few thumbnails for other individuals. I'm learning more about it as far as just playing around with it and really just getting in there. It's kind of like a side hobby thing that I enjoy to do when I have the time to do it. So if you guys are interested, I personally would recommend. I know that there's a lot of apps out there. Can we spend a couple of minutes kind of just focusing on, maybe 3 apps that you would recommend that may be free of service?
Oh yeah, for sure. So let's do phones because everybody has a phone, right? So number one app for sure, Lightroom. Lightroom is free on the phone, and that is pretty freaking crucial. If you don't want to pay for anything, all you need to do is sign up. And they don't let you use one feature, which is a selective tool, which is important to me. When you pay that $10 a month, you can use that feature. That selective tool, pretty much you get to select an area and then work in that specific area. So what I do is if the eye is not that much in focus, I would select just the eyeball itself and put the sharpness all the way up, and then you can see the eyeball really pop. Now that is a secret that I've told a few people, but I use a lot. I use a lot. And sometimes you think you can't bring a picture back because of how blurry it is. Depending on how blurry it is, you can use a selective tool to do that. Now you can only do that with that $10 subscription. Now that's called Lightroom. So the next one would be, let's see, Adobe Photoshop Fix. Now that one, Lightroom does have a healing feature, which I told you guys can remove bubbles from a picture and just little specks and all that little stuff that you don't want by just pressing a single button. Lightroom is a little bit different the way they use it, so I use Adobe Photoshop Fix. Now that's free too. All you need to do is click on the heal and then click how big you want the brush to be, and then just poke at your screen until the dots go away, and that is super crucial. Another app, let's say you want to do thumbnail work, you just download regular Adobe Photoshop. Now on Adobe Photoshop, you can resize it. It even has like a template. It says you can do a YouTube thumbnail, a Facebook banner, a Facebook group banner. It's all set in there for you. You can do text on there. You can do colorations. You can color grade and color correct. And those three, I think, will be my top 3 favorite.
Nice. Just filtering through. If you see any questions at all, feel free to go ahead and answer away. Abby, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I haven't seen you around in a bit. I know you're busy with school and that, so I definitely appreciate it very much.
51 watching. Not bad.
So yeah, if you guys haven't, do me a favor, go ahead and share it out. Whatever social media platform, it's one thing that I definitely tend to lack in doing. You would think at this point how long I've been around in YouTube before I even started doing video content that I would start doing that, but I don't know. I'm just still kind of weird with the whole thing. But all right.
But yeah, like IFG says, I need to start using my camera more. Yeah, it's just pretty much you gotta use it to learn it, man. Like a lot of people buy a camera and then they set it aside because they have a phone, and that's like
I'm guilty.
Problem there, yeah. So
guilty.
They get intimidated by the camera. They get frustrated with it, and then they put it to the side. There's so many YouTube videos out there, and you know this too, Jeremy. There's so many YouTube videos out there that can help you with pretty much anything in life.
Yep, exactly. I'm just bear with me a second, you guys. Just gonna pull up. I want Jimmy's. I'm gonna pull up my own personal. And again, I've talked about this. I apologize. I don't have the camera on me, so just bear with me a second. I'm pulling up another window here so I can show you guys. This is one of the most recent articles that was published, and this is talking about the Eresius Ware. So I took 3 different photographs personally, just utilizing my cell phone, and I want Jimmy's critique.
Real quick, hi, Caleb.
All right. So I'm going to do a screen share here real quick. And go. Oops. Give it just a second with the delay. It should pop up here. Showing that it's good on my end. There we go. All right. So again, this is your Daisy's Blue Rice Fish. It's a full in-depth. If I do encourage you guys, I plan on putting out much more. Anybody that's been following my channel for any period of time will know I deal a lot. I pretty much have worked with just about every family of fish at this point when it comes to breeding. Now just working on different subspecies, and I'm currently actively working on 65 different breeding projects. So I tend to work between 40 and 50 different species each year. This is by far one of my favorites, so that's why I went ahead and did an article. And you'll see here, this is actually post-wriggler stage, and this is a 1-week-old fry down here, and then this shows a pic of the female and a pic of the male. So what I used here was a specimen container with a black, just like a liner in the background. Mm-hmm. And I basically had no ambient lighting, and I used a flashlight and no light on my phone. And this is all done through my Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. So no apps. I didn't do anything as far as any filters. And I wanted to get better at taking it. These guys aren't too difficult to capture. They don't move a ton like some other fish do. So based on what you see here, what is some critiques and some feedback you could give me in the future?
I mean, for a phone, that is pretty darn good. So I think number 1 would be, I can see some of these at an angle. And usually when I take pictures of fish, it's straight directly on. Like in the cinematography world, if you shoot a picture of a person from above, they look smaller. If you shoot a picture from like below, they look bigger. Straight on is how you capture how real they truly are, how big they truly are. So shoot it straight on.
Yep.
would be my number one thing. But that picture right there of that fry is pretty freaking amazing.
Thank you.
I must say, for a phone, yeah, that looks pretty great. How far are you away from these fish? And was it cropped?
So I didn't do much cropping with this at all. Basically, you are exactly that. That's why I wanted to pull up so I can pick on me. Because this tells a true eye of somebody who understands photography, because you're 100% accurate knowing that these are on an angle. Now, if you're asking degrees wise, the reason I was at an angle is I was trying to get the right, and you already know this, but I was trying to get the right, without getting any distortion in that or saturation, while using like a mini mag type, LED light.
Right.
And I tried it like where I put the flashlight on my camera. I don't have like a DSLR camera. That's why I'm right now just using my phone. And based on what you're seeing here, do you think I'm okay by continuing to use my phone, but just get better at like some of the recommendations that you're saying by being straight on?
So the number one problem with people taking fish shots is lighting. The better lighting you have, the less your phone will have to compensate for everything else. So if you have really good lighting, it'll put your shutter speed. I would set your shutter speed. Like I would download a camera app and set your shutter speed the way you want it.
Okay.
So, I would start with that, but definitely lighting helps so much. It's crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
And these guys do move, don't get me wrong, but like you said, I mean, like guppies and endlers and stuff, they can move around. Like shrimp, not a big deal. You know, like with these guys though, I mean, they are a bit challenging. Barbs, they're a pain in the hind end. Now, if you take like a 4 or 5 inch barb and you put it in like a specimen container, obviously you can't really do much. So that's why I like to kind of confine them that way. But in these two shots here, both a male and female, I actually had an entire group, which I know probably didn't help me much, but maybe it did. I didn't like try to. I guess that ties in with my next question. Now, when you're doing photography with certain species of fish, have you noticed by keeping them just solo or putting them with a group to kind of help calm them down?
Like I said, I just work with what I have, because I
don't. Okay.
I've never taken a fish out of where it is and taken a picture of it.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever done it. But like, if let's set up the situation right here with you with a specimen container.
Yep.
I would put that specimen container right on the edge of a table, so it's flat on the edge, like it's about to fall off almost. And I don't know what your minimum focus distance for the phone is. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say minimum focus distance?
I believe so.
So every camera has a minimum focus distance. It's that point where you get to how close you can get your camera without blurring it out. So phones can autofocus pretty fast. So
I can tell you with this one, by not zooming in, just using my normal phone app, whatever you want to call it, your camera, without having any additions. Very, very basic, obviously, here.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, I should have taken better notes on this. I had it directly against the specimen container.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what the great thing with phones is. Their minimum focus distance is insane. So you can really press it against the container. If that fish is just maybe 2.5 inches away, you could probably capture it. Yeah. Every shot, I try to push my camera onto the glass. If I can get it on the glass, I can get a pretty good picture of it without any reflection.
And I used, again, bear with me in the replay of this. So if you guys are watching this in the replay up to this point, definitely thank you very much. If you guys are, I'm going to go ahead and add links for you guys in the description with a lot of stuff that we're talking about, a little bit more detail as far as the description. And I'll go ahead and also link one of my favorite videos that you showed was kind of fish photography, but it was more videography, I guess, when you're actually tracking a fish and utilizing like your fingers to almost stabilize and then smoothly move along. That's one of my favorite tips that I was able to take away from that.
Yeah, I think that was on the Real Fish Talk channel or something like that. I forgot. It's not on my channel, but
yep. And that's a solid tip to use. Another
yeah.
one I was listening. Again, I'm not being sponsored or anything, but I love D and Nick Nimmin. They're definitely great. I love both of those guys very much. And D was talking today. I was just listening on in the background. One of the points that he had made, somebody had asked, "What is your thoughts now with using like a tissue paper as a filter if you have like your light on your camera to almost like
As a
kind of block that. Yeah, the kind of
soften the lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that. Like, I've never really thought about that. A lot of like professional, like let's say Gary Lang, for instance, he uses flash. I've never used flash to take a picture of a fish, so I really would like to try that one day. I don't have a flash, but yeah, I'd really like to try that one day. And I think flash, yeah, like I said, your camera has to compensate for how dark everything is. So having a flash, I think, can, because I haven't tried it yet, I can't comment on that. But I think having a flash would be pretty cool.
Sure. I got the camera back on you right now. A couple of questions are popping in here. So definitely keep the questions coming, you guys. That's what this is for. I'm learning right along with you guys. I'm a complete noob when it comes to this. So on a DSLR, does the minimum focus distance change when you are zoomed in?
Definitely. It's really bad. It's really bad. Like when you zoom in more, it's probably you have to back up more in most cases. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Let's see. And then let me find out the question. On a phone, would you have to use the looks like metering or ISO to replace the shutter speed option?
So ISO, yeah, because think of it as a triangle. You have ISO, you have shutter speed, and you have aperture, and they all compensate for each other for light. Let's say you raise the shutter speed to get a non-blurry picture of a fish, and then the image will be darker because you raise the shutter speed. You're not letting enough light in, so it compensates and adds ISO in there. But the more ISO you put in there, the more grain you're gonna have in the footage in your photos. So some cameras, like especially with phone cameras, once they hit a maximum ISO of like 1,000, you will start seeing grain. So if you take that same picture but with 200 ISO, you'll see no grain. It's just crystal clear quality. And with aperture, when you have it low, you're gonna have so much bokeh. It's crazy. Aperture, I think, it's one of the most important things when taking portrait photography. Having said that, on my fish photography, I always have it as low as possible. That's why you see a lot of creamy backgrounds, a lot of separation from the subject to the background. So think of it as a triangle. Everything that you try to adjust, that whole triangle shifts to that area and tries to compensate for that. So you're either going to have really grainy photos or really dark photos if you don't know what you're doing, kind of. So yeah, it just pretty much the camera trying to compensate itself.
If you could only use one adjustment on a phone or on a photo, what would it be? Example, contrast, etc.
When taking the picture, when we're talking about ISO, shutter speed, and aperture here.
Looks like just in general,
yeah. So definitely shutter speed priority. So like I said, if you're taking a picture of a guppy, do a high shutter speed of 250 to 300 and play with that. So take a photo at 250 shutter speed, take a photo at 60 shutter speed, and look at the blurry differences. Well, 250 may have a nice crisp image. It may be dark. Whereas the 60 is kind of blurry where the tail is, but there's a good amount of light. So it does have to compensate. And shutter speed with fish is where I would most focus on.
Sure. Right on. All right. So yeah, keep those questions coming in, you guys. Appreciate everybody here as always. Speaking on both behalf of Jimmy and myself. So thank you again, Jimmy, for joining me on a live stream.
Oh, so he said adjustment. So there's no one good adjustment, man, because every photo is different. There's some photos where you adjust contrast and you totally make the picture black. Some photos you pull contrast back and then the photo's completely white. If I had to use only one, it would probably be that dehaze option. I use that a lot, but not to a fault.
Sure. I got to step away here just for a moment. Can you mind talking a little bit? Thank you so much, Candy, as always, for dropping those links. So definitely check it out, you guys. Check out, can you talk a little bit about your new website where some, talk a little bit about that. I don't know if you have any samples with you that you don't mind showing off. I know it's kind of putting you on the spot. You might not have them handy.
I don't have them handy.
Okay.
But most of my shots, so I have a website called SwhiskeyShots.com.
Do you mind if I just pull it up?
Yeah, just leave it out there because I don't want to see myself on camera. So let's just.
So give me just a second before I step away here. Sorry, you guys. When you have kids, I'm sure a lot of you guys understand. So
you have kids and a million pets.
Yes. So give me just a moment. All right. What was it again? I'm sorry.
SwhiskeyShots.com.
All right. All right. So I'll just kind of leave that first page that pops up there. All right. Let me screen share. Should pop up, you guys, in just a second with the delay.
There it is.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you. All right. So this is SwhiskeyShots.com. This is where my beautiful friend Candy had inspired me to sell my prints. It's a good time for this because the holidays coming around. If you don't know what to give a significant loved one or friend, family member that loves fish, I think a picture would do great. But I would order sometime between now and let's say Tuesday or something because I can't promise you will be there. Every picture is shipped in a flat envelope. I haven't had any complaints so far. They don't bend. Let's see. And I do ship priority. So you get in 2-3 days with insurance and everything. So let's talk about the prints. This is my first collection of prints. I've been so busy. I really want to get another collection out there and select another 8 photos that I love. But it's hard because these 8 photos have taken me over a year and a half to collect. And they're from all around the country, like really. Like that on one, that's my fish. The blues one is Scottish Aquatics. Like that yoga one, it was when we took a tour in Minnesota. That tip top one of the snail right there on the top right is Tom Barr's tank. It's insane to me. Like I get to meet a lot of these people and take pictures of their fish. It's a crazy job to me, and it couldn't be any more blessed. Solitude would be from Lucas Brett's fish room. Elevated is from Dean's fish room, if he's still in here. Shells is HT Aqua's Leolamprologus multifasciatus. It's a really cool, I named the pictures accordingly, I guess. And this is my first collection. Once they're all sold out, they're sold out. I don't think I'll ever be posting them again. Unless I get some type of special request. But the other way you can get my photos and prints is being a Patreon. Chip noises. Being a Patreon on Bob's channel. Now that's only $20, whereas these prints are $30. But the difference is you get an exclusive print that you won't find anywhere else in an 8x10. So if you can't really afford a 19x13 frame, which they can be pretty pricey, I would go over there and donate $20 to Bob's Patreon, Sneakbot Aquatics, and you can get a selected print of our choosing. I believe this month it's a blue Phantom Pleco that I took a picture of at Aquarium Co-op. And yeah, he selected it. We go over it and we pack it together. We get them out. And yeah, that's that. So the fish collection will be changing soon. I'm going to leave it up there until everything is sold. The everyday collection is more like pictures where I take nature photography or anything else. As you can see, exit right there. That is pretty much the exit to Aquarium Co-op. So it's a very famous exit. Everyone knows the exit, and it's just a long exposure shot of the freeway, and that leads you directly to Aquarium Co-op. The other photos, like I have magnets on there. You could buy a photo of Murphy in a smaller size. You get 2 magnets for $6. So you can put it on a refrigerator and have Murphy everywhere you go. But yeah, I've been really busy. I really want to select another 8 photos. Maybe I'll sit down with Candy and sit down with the girlfriend or lady friend, and we'll pick out another 8 photos. But yeah, that is my website, and
awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions while I have the site up here, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll leave it up here just for a second so you guys can kind of.
So it's $30. It's free shipping. That covers. I don't make that much money off of it. I mean, I have to buy all those big old 13x19 Canon papers. I have to buy the Stay Flat envelopes, which are freaking pricey, and I have to buy a protective sheet, and I pay for the shipping. So everything is included inside of that $30 price. And 13x19 is a pretty big print. It's kind of a pain in the butt for some people to, I sold it at AE, and it was a kind of a pain in the butt to have people drag it around on airplanes and everything like that. But this way, I just ship it straight to you. And if there's any problems, like I had a problem recently, I forgot to sign one of them, and the person really let me have it. So I sent him another one, so he has 2 pictures. But I do make it up to you, and yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, 1319 is super big, but it's the quality is all there. It's a 6,000 by 4,000 photograph in resolution.
Wow, that's insane. So the screen share is off, you guys, and bear with me with the delay. It's pretty typical with I think most. Dank said, "Welcome back." Let's see. So about 15 more minutes or so, you guys, and then we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. So again, I just kind of open it up at this point to
we can talk about anything, man.
Any questions, and kind of bring it back old school. Anybody that's been following me for any period of time will know I used to do a lot of, pretty much how I built my channel was often doing live streams. And something I definitely enjoy to do, but with life and kids and everything else, fortunately kind of hindered me from doing some of those commitments. But I enjoy to do this kind of stuff. I do have plans to bring on other individuals, especially here locally. So definitely stay tuned to that. It'll be nice to be able to actually bring on one a month. And these will be other veteran hobbyists, and we'll start diving into more aspects of more breeding aspects, since that's kind of what the channel has really been focused on the past year or so. So keep those questions coming in, you guys. If you definitely enjoy it, or if you enjoy it, feel free to go ahead and let us know by hitting that like button. If you guys are watching this in the replay, it doesn't have to end here. We, of course, enjoy carrying on the conversation down in the comments. So you can
I'll
leave a comment for myself or for Jimmy, and just give us some time, and they'll try to address it. Let's see.
Well, it's been a crazy year, man.
Yes. So yeah, quite a bit has changed. And I think for a lot of us, really, I think we all Trying to think, because I started YouTube just in the community probably back in 2014-ish, 2015. And then started producing content the end of 2016. And the only reason is quick backstory if anybody doesn't know. Really, my wife and my kids that kind of wanted me to start sharing the knowledge because I've been in the hobby. Got my first aquarium in 1990, and through surgeries and stuff that kind of hindered stuff from me. Kind of took not a hiatus. I've always hardcore the last 12, 13 years. I've been to the grind, always doing breeding projects, always doing different stuff. But it definitely the last couple of years have grown again where I'm slowly getting back. It seems like I've always had right around 20 tanks, but now expanding and doing what I enjoy to do at the end of the day, especially with clubs and stuff like that. So you guys can use the information that Jimmy is sharing here. Same thing with myself. And I encourage you guys to do it kind of tying in with the importance of your local clubs, writing articles, getting involved with that. And you don't even have to do a specific breeding project. You can take pride in, learn as much as you can, get really, really good at it and stick with it. And learn a lot of these tricks that he shared here with us this evening by applying it to some competitions, in the realm of the aquarium hobby. I mean, there's a lot of conventions that offer, as far as awards or certificates when it comes to fish photography, where you can kind of place in certain levels. So, I mean, there's other opportunities there where you can kind of really take ownership and pride in what you do. And I know for me, I want to always improve. It's definitely something I'm still learning a great deal about. Jimmy, do you see yourself staying with fish for a long run? With skills like yours, you can probably jump in to a lot different fields. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you. That's actually, I'm glad you brought it up because it's, I mean, that's something I would have asked as well. So,
yeah, I mean, as you can see on my channel, I've done car videos. So we partnered up with Ford around here. So me and Bob have a car channel, which we don't have a video up yet. We're working on the next video. We borrowed a Ford Raptor Baja. It was like a $130,000 car. And we worked on it a little bit, but the video won't be out for like another couple of weeks. But that's what I like about this hobby. As you grow up as a photographer, you don't only just shoot fish. You can shoot anything you want. I love doing portraits nowadays. I love doing nature. As a matter of fact, I'm in this camera group. Like, these guys have years on me, and they were posting up the best picture of 2018, and I won. So it's like crazy to me. And I think it's just, it is how long you do it, but also like the style you put to it. Does it appeal to someone's eye or not? I try to satisfy myself first before anybody else. That's kind of weird. But do I see myself moving on from fish? I don't think so. I love taking pictures of fish. That is what built this foundation for me. And I don't see me leaving anytime soon. So fish. It's all about fish. Fish and plants. But as far as my channel goes, I think it may take a sudden shift. But we'll see how that goes. Like, I just shot something today, and it's pretty much the same style that I've been doing. I've made travel videos. I did a Hawaii video like twice. Been to photography events, so that's cool.
So a question I have for you, and don't feel like you have to answer it. Now, if somebody reached out and said, "Hey, will you come and take my wedding photos? Will you come and take pictures of my fish?" Do you do like commission work? Do you do anything like that?
Yes. So on Wednesday and Sundays, I can do whatever the hell I want. And as far as wedding goes, I've been asked maybe 5 times in my whole life to shoot wedding photos. But as long as I'm not the main photographer, I'm willing to do it. If I'm the secondary, I'll be totally cool with that. As far as taking pictures of fish, if you let me film your fish room, we'll trade. Like, I can take a picture of your fish. If you like it, I'll print it and send it to you in exchange for, giving me a fish room tour and letting me film it. So I think that works itself out. So
now, again, don't feel like you have to answer. Another question I would have, kind of tying in with that, especially people specifically, not even necessarily through YouTube, but just maybe with marketing aspect or whatever the case might be, as far as a business, could anybody get a consult from you where you spend 30 minutes, 60 minutes and kind of walk through in much more detail than what we did here?
Already, I try to answer almost every DM I have. A lot of people have been messaging me through Instagram because that's where a lot of people see my work. I don't have as many followers as I do on YouTube there. But you can email me. I'll try to help you out as best as I can. I think I've answered every single message I've gotten. So I can critique whatever. It's free of charge for now, unless I can think of something. But other than that, it's free of charge. I like to share my knowledge. I think that's how it should be. So
right on. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's see if there's any other questions. A few more minutes here, you guys. So feel free to go ahead and keep those questions rolling in. It's pretty much at this point, general Q&A. So
M. Howie says, do you have any plans for any additional tanks or fish species for 2019? I just got a mud skipper. So I am, and there's a tank behind me here. Maybe I can show you guys a sneak peek because no one has really seen this before. Maybe some of my mods. But I've been really getting into the ADA stuff. I know it's like blasphemy because I work for Corey and he doesn't like that stuff. But here is a tank. I got to get this out of it. So this is a UNS tank. It's a 30C. And it's pretty much like low iron, all that stuff. I'm going to fully aquascape this thing sometime soon. And I'll probably make a video out of it. But like I said earlier, my girlfriend or lady friend has been really an inspiration to me lately because she loves to aquascape and she does a fantastic job. So, yeah.
So I'm kind of, I've been a bit behind, so bear with me when it comes to, I've heard you say it a few times. I have to ask you, who's this lady friend?
I think a lot of people have been wanting to know, but it's like not official, but pretty much.
Is it okay? Let me ask you this. Now is it guess 3 questions to see? Anybody we know in the community?
No, because she's from the aquascaping world.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I met her at AE. I think she's been following my Instagram for maybe a month or so before that. She was like, I was taking pictures of George Farmer's aquascape, and that's where she was because she likes aquascape stuff, and they're good friends. So she goes, Jimmy Gimbal, and no one has called me by my Instagram name before. So I turned around like, wowza, and then I never saw her again. And then I was looking for her, and then I think she commented on my Ember Tetra picture, and then I messaged her. And that's where I went from there. So.
Well, I'm happy that you definitely deserve it. So
yeah,
I know that you'll make whoever it is, you'll make them happy. So.
Kind of weird, right? Kind of hard. It's a male-dominated hobby, I think. So finding someone you share a pretty cool hobby with, and it's your job too, I think it's pretty cool. So,
have you ever thought about another kind of question tying into what we're talking about? Talking with like aquarium clubs about fish photography.
I believe what Corey has planned for me is at Aquashella, I might be speaking about videography and editing for the YouTubers, like a banquet dinner or something.
Now, which Aquashella? Because I know that there's 2 of them. Are you going to both?
Yeah, I don't know which one. I don't know. Okay. If it's a thing, then he'll tell me. But it was just something that we just talked about, and I was like, I don't speak in front of people. But if it's only like 25 YouTubers, then I'm totally cool with that. So.
Right on. All right. So, tips on turtle photography. We just picked up a diamond pack today. Lighting so far has resulted in
turtles
mediocre shots.
Turtles are kind of crazy because their tanks are not really highlighted, like they don't have highlight, and they have algae on them or whatnot, which you can totally take that turtle outside and take a picture of it. If you guys follow Turtle Girl, she does a lot of those pictures. She takes her photos outside. Her also is a YouTuber, so check out the Turtle Girl. She has Instagram too, and a YouTube.
Right on. Let's see. Any other questions that are popping out to you? I'm just trying to filter back through.
No. No, just my club would welcome you anytime, Jimmy. Yeah, it's just a matter of trying to get time off to do it because I'm on salary, so I do have Wednesdays and Sundays off. I can't really go anywhere far just for like a couple of days unless I really, make it work in my schedule. So, but I'm not comfortable in talking either in front of the camera or in front of a bunch of people. So.
Oh, you do great. I think so anyway. Let's see.
What's my dream photo up? So George Farmer reached out to me, and so did Chris Lukup, I think. And George Farmer said he wants me to follow him around Europe to help him film everything, which that would be pretty insanely cool. But I can't even leave the country, so there goes that.
How much time do you spend composing an image compared to post-processing?
Post-processing never takes me longer than 5 minutes. Taking the picture is about the same. So I can most likely get that picture, unless it's a guppy, within 5 minutes. And then I just post. Like, if I do it from my computer, it'll take me longer. But if not all, my Instagram pictures are done through my phone within 5 minutes.
Let's see. Just about a minute, you guys, and then we'll go ahead and I'm going to turn the camera back over to me. So you guys have been hanging out here with Jimmy and myself for this period of time. Hopefully you guys can take something away from it. I definitely know I will personally. And again, I thank Candy and all the moderators for dropping those links. Give me some time, give me a day or two, and then once this is processed, I may end up editing it and re-uploading it, and then adding what you guys are watching right now in the description of that video. So let's see. We have one more question, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up here for tonight. Did you get to play with the new gimbal that Corey bought yet?
Yes, so the DJI Osmo Pocket, we played with it. Like I said, anything past 800 ISO, there's grain in it. So you'll see footage of that in my next video.
And we'll take this last question here, and then we'll wrap things up. Favorite lens, wide angle, prime, or zoom?
Okay, favorite lens, it was my 28-70 G Master lens, just because it's a nice walk around lens. You have a lot of focal points you can use. But as far as taking fish photos, it will be my 90mm macro. My favorite wide angle is a 24mm, and those three does enough for me.
Right on. All right, so a couple pieces of advice that you would end with, and then we'll close things out for a new person getting into.
Just like we started, I guess, man. Just work your camera. If you bought something, you spend a lot of money on it, don't leave it in the dark. Use it. Learn what every function does. Play with it on manual. Play with it on aperture priority, shutter priority, and learn what it does. Don't give up. Just like everything in life, I guess. Continue to grind on it, because, like I said, a year and a half to 2 years ago, I did not know how to use a camera. I set everything on auto and just let it run. But, I take my time every night just to learn, watch videos, Took me probably a month to understand that whole triangle thing, but like I said, just keep on grinding like everything you do in life. Hustle and make money and just keep upgrading. Like I started off with a little tiny point and shoot. I have somewhere right here and that, and then I upgraded to like a little Canon, and then I upgraded to the Sony. Now I have my full frame, and you know, it's a hobby just like everything else. Just keep grinding.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So we'll go ahead and end on that note. As always, you guys stay encouraged, keep on keeping on, happy fishing. We'll talk to you guys right back here on the next one.